Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thanks to beloved Baba, Jai Baba to all of you. Welcome back. Before we begin, I have been reminded to report a few importance of today's date. One is we are told, Acha, why don't I name the person who called me? My very dear friend and brother Merchan Nori Dharu ji phoned up in the morning to say that today, of course, I remember that. Baba is supposedly having written his Aarti Bujhave Nar, Gujarati Aarti, on today's date in 1926. Although there is a reference in Mera Mein where Mera says that Baba had actually composed this in 1924 and he had even written it out and handed over the paper to Mera, which supposedly was lost, now not traceable. So today is that importance day, 1926. On record, it is there that on 11th of January, the Gujarati Aarti was written by Baba. That's one. The second thing is today is Ramju Abdullah's death anniversary. He passed over to Baba in 1967. And day after tomorrow, 13th of January, is our dear Bhauji's birthday. So we remember all these instances. And as I said, my friend keeps reminding me because he knows I've grown old now. So I tend to forget. So thank you, Merchanji. All right. Now we are reading this beautiful book.
Sarajji, I'm sorry. You have forgotten one more day. 12th. Mansari reunion with Baba.
Sorry?
Mansari reunion with Baba in 1997.
Thank you.
That is on which day? Today?
No, on 12th. You said Bauji on 13th.
Okay. My mistake. Sorry. Thank you for correcting me. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have taken. I don't want my name to come out. That's the reason.
Okay. I will tell that also that he has said that his name should not come out. All right. Now we are reading this intimate conversations with the Awakener, as you can see, and we are on page number 53. 53.
Selfishness, selflessness, and the real I. It was night time. I had just finished arranging the covers about me when you quietly entered the room and sat on the edge of my bed. I was filled with happiness that you had come. We talked together about many things, about the latest sports news, the weather, my health. I had just discovered a new flavor of ice cream that day that I especially liked, and I told you all about it. You smiled in appreciation as if you also would have liked to have had some. I told you a few jokes, and together we laughed. Once again, I was a little surprised at how interested you were even in the most mundane or seemingly trivial facets of life. I was moved by the way you treat life as a whole, not dividing it into important and unimportant aspects. Then you became quiet, and I noticed a peaceful hush pervading the dimly lit room. Wistfully, you looked out my window at the twinkling stars scattered across the night sky. A gentle breeze moved the tops of the trees, their dancing branches silhouetted against the faint rays of the stars. You said, "It is time for you to go to sleep." Is it time? As I thought of ways to keep you with me a little longer, I remembered that for the past 2 or 3 nights, I had not slept well. "Can I ask you a favor?" I ventured shyly. Your receptive silence enfolded me. "Will you bless me with sound sleep tonight?" "Why not?" you answered. "But isn't it selfish of me to ask this of you?" How so? You want sound sleep so that when you wake up in the morning, you may try to be more aware of me. Isn't that right? True, but wouldn't this asking only nurture my attitude of selfishness, which may keep me away from you? You closed your eyes as if in concentration. Tranquility filled the room. Yes, in a way. For instance, do you remember that particular flavor of ice cream you were telling me about? Yes, I replied happily. I enjoyed it very much. But you forgot me while you were relishing it, didn't you? What you said was right. I kept a shamed silence. You appeared not to notice my reaction, but continued. Your voice sweet. But if, while enjoying your dinner, you think about me in a natural way, you will still be able to enjoy the various tastes. In fact, you may find even more pleasure in them because you will be sharing them with me, making me your companion, offering me each sip and taste. The difference will be that you will still relish but not crave. What do you mean by this? I had quickly forgotten my embarrassment. Normally, if you like what you eat, you crave more. If you share it with me, you will still enjoy it, but will be much less caught up in the pleasure. My heart was soothed by this, but not my mind. You say that I will still find pleasure in my dinner, but isn't this selfish? Not the least impatient with my probing, you used another example to illustrate your point. When you earn money, not just to fulfill your own desires, but for the happiness and well being of others, gradually your motivation, even if it began as a mixed one, will change. It will become more selfless. Intellectually, I understood what you were saying. Still, I doubted whether I would ever be able to lose my strong sense of self. Even though I am earning for others as well, won't I be doing it? I asked plaintively. My sense of I will remain, and whatever I do will be done with some degree of selfishness. And why do you fear selfishness? I-ness is in both selfishness and selflessness. But selfishness is more binding than selflessness. As long as you are alive, how can you ever be without a self? This I-ness of the self is the innate desire for survival as a separate entity. It is the root of selfishness in each one.
All right. So let me go through it paragraph by paragraph. I have a little issue with my throat, but Baba will take care. All right. The chapter is selfishness, selflessness, and the real I. We've been doing this. That selfishness is more towards, I, my, me, and mine. Selflessness is for catering to the needs and the well being of the others. But in that also, you feel that I have done this, I am doing this, but I am going to do this. But for others, but the I is there. So selfishness and selflessness both bind. But if you rise above the two, both are in the domain of duality. If you rise from selfishness to selflessness to selfness, selfness is beyond the duality of selfishness and selflessness. So here Balnatuji says, it was night time. I had just finished arranging the covers about me. I would say covers about me would be, bed sheets and stuff like that, blankets and stuff. About me means around me. When you quietly entered the room and sat on the edge of my bed, I was filled with happiness that you had come. Obviously, anybody would be absolutely happy. We talked together about many things, about the latest sports news, the weather, my health. I had just discovered a new flavor of ice cream that day, and I especially liked it. and I told you all about it. We all know Baba was very, very human, and he would ask such intimate, intricate human questions about us that sometimes we wonder that how can God be so intimate, so close to us, and so much knowing about, as we say, the gully gucci stuff. You smiled in appreciation, as if you also would have liked to have had some. Some means ice cream. I told you a few jokes, and together we laughed. Baba loved jokes. In fact, the Mandali and those who would visit him in close circles, especially in Guru Prasad, in the smaller room, not in the main hall, they would be always prepared with some songs or some jokes or some stories or something in order to entertain Baba. Because all of a sudden, Baba would say, "Tell me one joke," and then it would be done. And I also have been told that when there are only men, meeting only men, no women, no ladies, then sometimes what we call as slightly non-veg jokes, that also would be done by a few people, especially Baba's brother Jal or so many others, was the gentleman
Well, I
from
don't know.
who's that? I forgot the name. See, anyway, it'll come to us. So there are some Jim mystery from Mumbai. They would have some kind of
Elcha.
Elcha mystery. Thank you. Elcha mystery. His name was
Erach
Erach, but he was called
or
Elcha
Elcha.
mystery.
He looked also very comical.
So he would have
He
some
was
jokes. So
sport
they
gesture
would
of
all
Baba.
do.
He was
They would all be saying some jokes or dancing and all that. But that was in a close group, and Baba enjoyed that. And Baba said that that is actually, reducing my universal load of, the load that he's carrying. So I told you a few jokes, and we laughed together. Together we laughed. Once again, I was a little surprised at how interested you were, even in the most mundane or seemingly trivial facets of life. Baba used to keep an eye on everything that is going about, and he would have the newspaper read out to him. And in what manner? Only the headlines would be read out, and Baba would just do like this, or sometimes he would just snap and say that, okay, next headline, next headline, next headline. And if there's something which is interesting to Baba, for his own reason, whatever, Baba would ask that the whole article should be read out. So that is how he used to keep touch with everything that is going about the world. Similarly, in Merazad, the first what we call as transistor was gifted by one of our trustees, ex-trustees, Lieutenant Colonel Minoche Desai. He happens to be Mansari's brother. No, that was different. Huh? So it is said, that Baba was so enamored by that small transistor, that time it used to come, that he would carry it in his hands and in his armpit from one room to the other. Wherever he would go, he would keep the transistor with him, and he would listen to the news, he would listen to the song and all that. So that was the humanness of the avatar, that he was so much like us in that sense. You were in even the most mundane or seemingly trivial facets of life. Of course, Baba, in, in order to call the newspaper, Baba would say, "Come on now, let's have some bogus news." That was his slogan, bogus news. So, bogus news means whatever comes in the media, the newspaper, and then he would have it read out. I was moved by the way you treat life as a whole, not dividing it into important and unimportant aspects. Very important for us to emulate that there is no such thing as important aspects of life, unimportant. Everything from a spiritual standpoint has a meaning, has some lessons to teach us. Then you became quiet, and I noticed a peaceful hush pervading the dimly lit room. A peaceful hush would mean absolute quiet. How was it just now? Like that, absolute quiet. So that's the meaning of hush. We say, oh, you can hear a pin drop, something like that. An absolute hush, peaceful hush, sorry, pervading the dimly lit room. Wistfully, you looked out my window. Wistfully is little saddened, a little sad with a sad look. He looked out of the window at the twinkling stars scattered across the night sky. A gentle breeze moved the tops of the trees, their dancing branches silhouetted against the faint rays of the stars. You said, "Is it time for you to go to sleep?" See how concerned he was, how human he was. That's what the Mandli would say, that he was so human that we who stayed close with him for so many years often forget that he is God. And therefore, when we try to, capitalize on his humanness, Baba would immediately say, do not forget, remember, do not forget. This is the sign for God, that I am God. Sometimes he would do like this. Sometimes he would sign, this is the G sign. So always remember that I am God. Is it time for you to go to sleep? As I thought of ways to keep you with me a little longer, I remembered that for the past 2 or 3 nights I had not slept well. Can I ask you a favor? I ventured shyly. Your receptive silence enfolded me. Will you bless me with a sound sleep tonight? Why not? You answered. But isn't it selfish of me to ask this of you? How so? You want sound sleep so that when you wake up in the morning, you may try to be more aware of me. Isn't that right? Baba was very emphatic about having sound sleep. And I remember once when Baba had given a sahwas, there was one group of people from somewhere who felt that since we are in the vicinity of Baba's place, we must not sleep, but we must spend the night in remembering him through bhajans and ghazals and stuff like that. And on the other side, there were, as we call ourselves, Parsi Bawajis, there were Bawajis who were not much into these ghazals and bhajans and all that. They like to eat, drink, and be merry, that kind of thing. So somehow they managed to complain to Baba that we could not sleep the whole night because this group has been, blaring all the time. And that is where Baba asked the group, I mean, were you singing all night? They said, yes, Baba, we were remembering. Okay, have you any sense? Have you any common sense? You see, that night you are supposed to sleep. And only when you are able to sleep well and have a good night's sleep, will you be able to focus and concentrate on me the next day. So now, henceforth, whenever you are in this vicinity, don't spend the night remembering me by ghazals and bhajans and all that, but have a nice sleep. He was very particular about that. Even after having lunch, his timings were such that the morning session would be over, and then Baba would say, have your food and rest for some time so that you are fresh in the evening session, for the evening session. How particular he was. So here, true. Isn't that right? That Baba is saying that when you wake up in the morning, you may you will be more aware of me. Isn't that right? True. But won't this asking only nurture my attitude of selfishness, which may keep me away from you? Sometimes we what should I say? Own up a lot of selfishness as if we are so right. I don't know whether I'm able to righteousness, selfishness, Oh, isn't now I don't think that asking Baba for a good night's sleep would be a selfishness at all. But here he's saying, true, but won't this asking only nurture my attitude of selfishness? Because in a sense that I will never go away. We that I will stick to us till the very end of it, which may keep me away from you. Baba, he says, you close your eyes as if in concentration. Tranquility filled the room. Yes, in a way. For instance, do you remember that particular flavor of ice cream you were telling me about? Yes, I replied happily. I enjoyed it very much. So he's saying that I enjoyed, and we enjoy food, we enjoy sightseeing, we enjoyed so many things. But during that enjoyment, we tend to forget Baba. We tend not to have his participation in our enjoyment. So you're, yes, but you forgot me. while you were relishing it, didn't you? What you said was right. I, I kept a shamed silence. There is a nice doha which goes something like this: Dukh mein sumirana sab kare, sukh mein kare na koi, sukh mein jo sumira na kare, उसे दुख कहाँ से होए. That means in Kabir's Dua, in sadness, in suffering, when we are going through turmoils, we remember the Lord. You know, when we are going through happy times, when we are, enjoying, that way, whatever you call it, freaking out, we do not enjoy the Lord. And then the second line says that a person who remembers him during his fun time, so to speak, how can dukkha, how can suffering come to him? That was the Doha. You appeared not to notice my reaction, but continued your sweet voice. But if while enjoying your dinner, you think about me in a natural way, and many people have this habit, when they start in certain communities, they do a short prayer, they invite the Lord, or they hold hands and pray. The whole idea is to remember Him, to include His participation in Thanksgiving and whatever we do. So here Baba says, but if while enjoying your dinner, you think about me in a natural way. Many people I shouldn't be saying, but then they openly stand up and join hands and all that. Oh, to each his own. But the way we are supposed to love Baba in such a way that we don't need to show it. We don't need to make any dikhawa of it. You will still be able to enjoy the various tastes. In fact, you may find even more pleasure in them because you will be sharing them with me, making me your companion, offering me each sip and taste. We, at least I'm sure we have experienced, and I'm sure many have experienced, many may have it, irrespective of where it is. Whenever a prasad comes to us, the pratha, the practice is that is offered to the Lord, the deity or whatever, first. The first plate is put up over there, and then it is distributed as prasad. And our experience has always been that the prasad really tastes very good. It is not heavy on the stomach. You feel nice about it because food, water, they absorb the vibrations. They absorb the vibrations. And when you are cooking, you are thinking about the Lord, you are singing His praise, or when you are eating, you are inviting Him. Those vibrations enter into our being, and that definitely is a very beautiful experience. So your Baba says that if you will be still enjoying the taste. In fact, you will be feeling it so much better, the taste, if you are when you are thinking, when you are internally offering every sip and every morsel to me. It's all a feeling of the heart. It's not something that you're going to pour water on Baba's frame or something like that. I'll just repeat this. In fact, you may find even more pleasure in them because you will be sharing them with me, making me your companion, offering me each sip and taste. The difference will be that you will still relish but not crave. Very important, but not crave. The craving for food, the craving for drink will not be there. You will enjoy it because Baba's companionship is there, but you will not crave for it because craving again causes a very strong samskaric bonding. What do you mean by this? I had quickly forgotten my embarrassment. He was very embarrassed initially. So normally,
Because he's not invited Baba for the taste.
for the taste of the ice cream. That's why. Yeah, correct. Normally, if you like what you eat, you crave more. If you share it with me, you will still enjoy it, but will be much less caught up in the pleasure. So we don't get caught up in the pleasure. The idea of inviting Baba is not to get caught up in the pleasure.
Take his name like a net, it will keep you away.
My heart was that is my heart was soothed by this, but not my mind. You say that I will still find pleasure in my dinner, but isn't this selfish? That means even that pleasure which I am getting in my dinner or whatever. Although I'm inviting you and you are participating in, isn't that also selfish? So Baba says, not the least, the author is saying, not the least impatient with my probing. Can you imagine? He's asking so many questions. He's probing so deeply. Baba has never shown one iota of sign that he's impatient, that you are asking too many questions like that. You used another example to illustrate your point. When you earn money, not just to fulfill your own desires, but for the happiness and well being of others, gradually your motivation, even if it began as a mixed one, will change. It will become more selfless. That means anything that you do, if you are doing it not just for yourself, but for the benefit of others, then it becomes less selfish or more selfless.
Cyrus, sir, very sorry to interrupt. Sir, can you please interrupt? Can you please repeat that part that whenever you work for the like the whole humanity or your family, then rather for your own selfish desire of a money, right?
I'll definitely read it. Okay. When you earn money, not just to fulfill your own desires, but for the happiness and well being of others, gradually your motivation, even if it began as a mixed one, will change. It will become more selfless. Is that okay, Harmeet?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Intellectually, I understood what you were saying. Still, I doubted whether I would ever be able to lose my strong sense of self. You can never lose it, as I said, till the end of the journey. So, even though I am earning for others as well, won't I be doing it? Won't I be doing it? That means the I is there. I ask plaintively. Plaintively here would mean sorrowfully or just plainly. My sense of I will remain, and whatever I do will be done with some degree of selfishness. That is why Baba keeps on harping that whatever you do when you start the work, think that it is not you who is doing. You create a provisional ego which is subservient to that of the master. You think, feel, and believe and behave as if it is the master, which is Meher Baba, who is getting the work done through you, who is doing it through you. You do it, and at the end of the work, you offer the results to Baba. So that is one safe way of keeping yourself out of the entanglement of either good or bad samskaras. And why do you fear selfishness? Baba is saying, why do you fear selfishness? The I-ness is in both selfishness and selflessness. Because even if you're doing anything selfless, charity, helping people, serving people, doing this, doing that for others, who is doing? I. There is an I there. There is selflessness, but the I is there. You are bound. You are bound by gold chains, which means good bindings, binding of good samskaras. But they are binding as well, isn't it? And that is why that beautiful formula of inviting Baba and sincerely feeling that it is Baba who is doing through you. Okay. And why do you fear selfishness? I-ness is in both selfishness and selflessness. But selfishness is more binding than selflessness. As long as you are alive, how can you ever be without a self? This I-ness of the self is the innate desire. Innate means inborn desire. It is there from the very beginning. It is the innate desire for survival as a separate entity. This is what we call as a separative, finite, egocentric self, I. It is innate. It has started all the way from the gaseous state. How can you now all of a sudden remove it? It is there inborn. You cannot separate that till the fag end of the journey, which is mukti or realization. It is the root of selfishness in each one. That is what is keeping us as separate entity. That is what is giving us separate individuality, separate personality, is that I-ness. So what, Acha, yeah, you can read this. So what does all this mean?
So, what does all this mean? I asked, taken aback by your response. Where does it all lead? Smiling reassuringly, you replied, the more the root of I-ness begins to dry, the more selflessness begins to blossom. And when this root is totally dried out, the real I-ness of my existence prevails. That will be the ending of selfishness and selflessness and the emergence of the real I that I am. My look of hopeful questioning entreated you to continue. The only way out is to purify your I-ness with my remembrance. Thoughts of me will gradually clean the mirror of your life, allowing it to reflect more and more of my presence. If you let me into your heart, the knots of selfishness will be untied. Gradually, selflessness will lead you to find the self in all, wherein you feel my presence more intimately. I was overwhelmed by your compassionate words, by your beauty, your mercy, and by the fact that you are always there waiting, waiting without imposing yourself, while it is I who turn you away. A grateful peace washed over me, and the quiet remained unbroken for some time. Then, with a voice gentle with motherly love, you said, feel free with me. Don't hesitate to call on me for anything, anything at all. I know what to give and what not to give. Consoled by your compassion, I assumed my usual childlike manner with you. Without thinking, I blurted out, if you don't appear in my dreams, it's okay. But don't let nasty things disturb my sleep. If you think of me before going to sleep, it will unwind the worries of the day and I will take charge of your dreams. So, would it be good for me to think of you for some time before going to bed? Yes. And also when I wake up, I suggested not letting you finish your sentence. You showed your appreciation for my enthusiasm with a smile. Gently, you repeated, as you live in my remembrance, there will be less and less selfishness. Eventually, as my grace washes over you, the real I shall emerge. Your expression was so loving, so affectionate that I found myself asking, when do you sleep? Again, you smiled and then said, sleep always remains wide awake in me. This cryptic reply I knew was beyond my understanding, and I remained silent. But such thoughts were swept away by the sweet look you gave me as you said, good night, sweet dreams, and then you left. As I pulled the sheet over me, I marveled at the way you are able to stoop to my level, share my interests, and yet imbue our conversations with your inimitable sense of humor and loving patience. I did sleep well that night.
All right. So about the selfishness, selflessness.
Cyrusji, before
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
yes, Cyrusji, before you carry on with this succeeding passage, in the previous passage, while talking about cravings, there was a sentence capacity. It reduces the capacity to. I couldn't catch the word. If you can help me out with, thank you.
Sure. Let me see where the craving
Don't
is.
get caught in the something.
No. What Baba says is that if you invite me while you are enjoying whatever you are enjoying, you will continue to enjoy, but you will not crave further for that. The craving is one thing, it's a kind of a desire. Craving is a desire. And Baba is out here in order, that's why Baba says desire for desirelessness, hope to rise above all hope, want nothing and you will have everything. Is that what you are asking? What is, because here the sentence is, by in fact you may even more, even in fact you may find even more pleasure in them, it's eating and everything that can include everything, because you will be sharing them with me, making me your companion, offering me each sip and taste. The difference will be that you will still relish, but not crave. That's what it is.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Okay. The idea is to keep him our constant companion. Basically, the entire book is going round and round in that particular way, picking up one emotion after the other. He's just picking up all that we are going through, and then he's just zeroing down on that same thing all the time. So coming back to our reading, so what does this all mean? I asked, taken aback by your response. Where does it all lead to? That is the entire book, the entire series of 4 conversations. Where does it all lead to? One thing I would say, just simple thing. Not only this, but elsewhere we've been doing this now for quite some time. It's all leading to one thing, that Baba wants us to love him in the most natural way, to keep him as our constant companion, to offer to him all our strength, weaknesses, shortcomings, attachments. And in the best thing would be to remember him the first thing in the morning, 12 noon, 5 o'clock in the evening. That's what Baba had said in one of the Savasis. And the last thing you go to bed, just remember him, just offer him your day's tension, stress, everything, just give it to him and have a good night's sleep. So you're smiling reassuredly, you replied, the more the root of I-ness begins to dry, the more selflessness begins to blossom. And when this root is totally dried out, the real I-ness of my existence, real I of my existence prevails. That will be the ending of selfishness and selflessness and the emergence of the real I that I am. Elsewhere in one of the discourses, Baba had said that all our samskaras are like green grass. Green grass, you cannot set it to fire. We all know that. It just smokes, but doesn't catch fire. Once you have the sahavas, companionship, intimate companionship of a master, and for us, it is Meher Baba, who is the master of all masters. He is the way and the goal. He is the Sadguru of all Sadgurus, and he is the eternal living Sadguru, whether he's in the physical body or not. He's always existing and available to each one of us. And Baba had said that when you keep on remembering him, remembrance, now this is sentence Baba did not say, but I am adding, remembrance is a sort of meeting. Just as how we meet physically, when we remember, we are actually meeting him at a different level, at a mental level. So when we constantly are in touch with him, the closeness to the master, Baba says in one of the discourses, the green grass starts becoming dry and it converts itself into what we call as hay. And hay is very easy, just a match and the whole thing just booms. So our job is nothing to do with the green grass, nothing to do with the hay. Our kshetra, what we are expected to do is to keep him constant companion. That's all. So other things he will manage. It's not our botheration how he puts the match and all that. So here he says that the more you think about, the more you are selfless, the roots of selfishness dries out. And when the roots are completely dry, then the real I, which is Baba's self, where Baba says, the real I-ness of my existence prevails. Then that will come. That will be the ending of selfishness and selflessness. Because when the real I comes, there is no selfishness, no selflessness, because both selfishness and selflessness minds, both are in the domain of illusion, and we are supposed to rise above illusion. So when the real I comes, both these are eradicated. This will be the ending of selfishness and selflessness and the emergence of the real I that I am. That means you experience mukti or you experience realization. My look of hopeful questioning entreated you to continue. The only way out is to purify your I-ness with my remembrance. How do you purify our I-ness, our selfishness? By his remembrance. The more we remember him, the less we remember ourselves. The less we remember ourselves, the less food we give to our false separative, finite ego. We are starving our ego because constantly we are remembering Baba. So the ego is not aggrandized, the ego is not bloated, the ego is not getting sufficient food. So here Baba says the only way out is to purify your I-ness with my remembrance. Thoughts of me will gradually clean the mirror of your life, allowing it to reflect more and more of my presence. I remember an instance where Erich was in the Mandli hall, saying that he said, our job is we are like the reflecting surface for the sun, which is Baba. In fact, one of the Persian meaning of meher is also called the sun. So the sun is reflecting. We are the reflecting surface. Our job is to keep our reflecting mirror surface, whatever you call it, chakachak, absolutely clean. The more clean and pure we are, the better would be the reflection of the sun through us. Got it? If it is covered with a lot of I, my, me, and my, lust, anger, greed, jealousy, hatred, pride, envy, attachment, and all that, the reflection would not be there. It would be very dim. So our job is to clean ourselves pure so that we are able to reflect the mirror. We are becoming proper mirrors or reflecting surfaces for the sun to reflect through us. That's what Baba is trying to say here. Thoughts of me will gradually clean the mirror of your life, allowing it to reflect more and more of my presence. If you let me into your heart, the knots of selfishness will be untied. The selfishness are all knotted. We call it bhuj. So Baba will gradually untie all the knots of selfishness. Gradually, selflessness will lead you.
Cyrus sir,
Yes,
sir, one doubt.
yes,
Sir,
sir.
surrendering to Baba, as easy as it sounds, is also very, very, like, I feel very, very scary because it is said in every book, even the Gita, the Torah, the Bible, the Guru Granth Sahib, everywhere. Surrendering to a master, a guru, is the most difficult thing because you have to lose your very self. It is like living a living death. but
Right.
we but there is no other way out. There is nothing else you can do. So how do we go? How do we do it?
See, the point is you have to start somewhere, and starting somewhere is remembering him and making him our constant companion. And gradually he will take over and he will only help us to surrender to him. By saying this,
Yes,
I,
sir.
I, I never for a second want to inform that, oh, I have surrendered. No, I'm very much in that I, my, me, and mine. There's no doubt. But at least I am so consoled and relieved that Baba has. See, final surrenderance actually also requires his permission. You see,
Yes.
he cannot surrender unless and until he wants us to surrender. But here, our effort is to remember him constantly. And for see, there are two kshetras. The amcha section, tumcha section means this is what I am concerned with. I am talking about myself. I'm not bothered about these bombastic words of surrender. You cannot unless he wills it. You see, our job is what to remember that we can. What we can, let us try to do it wholeheartedly and as long as we can, and how and as
And
profound
often.
and as deeply we can, and then leave the surrendering part to him. Even if we have not surrendered, even if just the remembrance is so powerful a tool that if we are fortunate enough to remember him when we breathe our last, it is much more than surrender. We will go to him. We will merge with him. We will experience infinite bliss eternally with him. So
Lovely, lovely.
you got my point. So
Yes, yes, sir.
whatever we can do, let us focus on what we can do.
Yes, sir.
Other
Yes,
things,
sir.
let him manage, let him manage.
Yes,
Because
sir.
so kind, so understanding, so benevolent,
Makes
so
it very
uplifting,
easy.
so loving that he will see our efforts. You see, in
So
that in
how do we keep up?
mathematics, let me complete. Harmeet. In mathematics, the examiner will see what the steps have been taken. Final results may be wrong, but the answer may be wrong. But if your steps are correctly, you might get 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 because your steps are correct. So let us focus on the steps and not the final result, that we leave it to him. Got it, Hermit?
Yes, sir. And how do we keep our mirror clean? Like keep the surface clean so that the sun reflects.
The whole idea, again, the same thing. See, he says it very beautifully, that thoughts of me will gradually clean the mirror of your life. Simple as that.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Remembrance.
Means less and less of I, my, me, and mine, more and more of remembering him and concern for well-being of the others. That's all. Actually, life is very beautiful and life is very simple, but we tend to make it, our mind tends to make it complicated by getting into some kind of verbosity and why this and what this and all that. So, okay. All right. May I continue?
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you.
Welcome, sir. Welcome. All right. I was overwhelmed by your compassionate words. That is what, Baba, we just read out. Your beauty, your mercy, and the fact that you are always there waiting without imposing yourself. Many of us may do so many good things for others, but then we impose ourselves on others. Whereas here Baba is doing the best of the things for us, and yet he is only waiting, he is only kind, he is only understanding. We make mistakes, we sin, we fall, we do all kinds of nonsense. He is only patient, he is only forgiving, he is only lifting us, uplifting, upholding us. And here the author says that you are only waiting without imposing yourself, while it is I who turn you away. Many of us, we unconsciously, unknowingly turn him away. How do we turn him away? By giving him a second place in our life. Something is more important than Baba, so we look at that, and that is, in a sense, turning away from Baba or turning him away from us. A grateful peace washed over me, and the quiet remained unbroken for some time. Then, with a voice gentle with motherly love, you said, "Feel free with me." Baba always likes our honesty. He wants us to be very free with him. He likes us to be very honest. He doesn't like hypocrisy. He doesn't like show business. He doesn't like, any kinds of, drama that we may put up for him. He loves honest feelings about him. Even if we feel that, no, Baba, what you're saying is wrong. Many people have said this. No, Baba, what you're saying is wrong. And Baba would smile and say, well, I like you. I love you because you're so honest about it. Feel free with me. Don't hesitate to call on me for anything at all. Means for anything and everything, Baba expects us to call on him. And that way we are remembering him. I know what to give and what not to give. Very important. Many times we ask, but he does not give. And we turn our face away from Baba, saying, Baba, I asked, but you did not give. Baba knows what to give and what not to give. It is entirely, sorry?
And how much to give.
And how much to give. Consoled by your compassion, I assumed my usual childlike manner with you. Without thinking, I blurted out. Many of us who are very innocent, who are very childlike, we just blurt out. We don't see the environment, situation, circumstances, but Baba loves it because there is honesty. I remember one lady who we know all the story about Dr. Harry Kenmore's reciting the prayer. We've been doing it again and again. So how Baba said that, no, I want you to be what you are. There was a lady who would be always talking at the top of her voice, and his talk was as if she's always fighting. That was the nature. And the women over there said, what is this? Have you no manners? Have you no shame? Is this the way to talk? Can't you be a little more polite, a little more womanly? You are just shouting away and all that. So she gave a second thought, and then she started talking very politely, very what we call is with manners and reverence and stuff like that. And Baba looks at her and says, what's wrong with you today? And then she said, no, Baba, I don't think I am behaving in a proper, it's not proper for me to behave in your presence like this. Baba said, rubbish. Who told you that? These women told me that. Rubbish. Don't just listen to them. Be your natural self. I love you as you are. And so immediately she started shouting again. Not shouting, but talking at the top of her voice. So what I'm trying to convey is Baba likes us to be childlike. Baba likes us to be honest about it. So without thinking, I blurted out, if you don't appear in my dreams, it's okay. But don't let nasty things disturb my sleep, like nightmare and all that. Then Baba says, if you think of me before going to sleep, it will unwind the worries of the day, and I will take charge of your dreams. So one of the other instructions from Baba has been that you try to remember him before going to bed. Unwind yourself, offer it all to him. Think as if Baba is there with you, and Baba is always there with us, and you are talking with him all that has happened through the day, and you offer the whole, we call it Gasra Potla, the entire bundle of worries, tension, stress, whatever may have happened in the day to Baba. Baba, you take care. And Baba would gladly accept it. Why? Because Baba had said, I am the ocean. I can absorb everything. I can consume everything. Whereas you are like a small pond. This will be too much for you to carry, but if you offer it to me, you become lighter, and I am happy to help you out. It's like that. It will unwind the worries of the day, and I will take charge of your dreams. So would it be good for me to think of you for some time before going to bed? Baba says yes. And before Baba could complete the sentence, interrupts. And also when I wake up, I suggested not letting you to finish your sentence. You showed your appreciation for my enthusiasm with a smile. Baba never said, you are interrupting me. I am telling you something so wise and so divine and so spiritual, and you are, in Gujarati we say topsy purwan, like we just keep on interrupting all the time. So Baba didn't say that. You showed your appreciation for my enthusiasm. Baba always catches the positive aspect of our being. Here you can catch the negative aspect. Don't you have manners? Let me complete the sentence. No, no. But Baba says the author says he appreciated the enthusiasm with a smile. Gently you repeated, as you live in my remembrance, there will be less and less selfishness. Same thought again. Eventually, as my grace washes over you, the real I shall emerge. Real I means the real I. Aham Brahmasmi. Your expression was so loving, so affectionate, that I found myself asking, when do you sleep? He's asking Baba, when do you sleep? And Baba's response, again, you smiled and then said, sleep always remain wide awake in me. That means Baba is wide awake in his sound sleep state. That is the state of being for all God realized masters, all God realized persons. That they never lose their consciousness in the sound sleep state, like how we do. We lose our they are always awake in the sound sleep state. And therefore, consciousness of unconsciousness is equal to realization. It may look like a dichotomy. How can you be conscious? But only when we reach that state, we'll be able to experience that. But that's what Baba had said. So sleep always remains awake, wide awake in me. This cryptic reply I knew was beyond my understanding, and I remained silent. But such thoughts, sorry, but such thoughts were swept away by the sweet look you gave me as you said, good night, sweet dreams, and then you left. As I pulled the sheet over, I marveled at the way you are able to stoop to my level, share my interests. Baba would share interest of each one of us, and yet imbue our conversations with your inimitable sense of humor. Imbue means permeate, impregnate, spread our conversations with your inimitable sense of humor and loving patience. He was always patient, always. He had that streak of humor in everything that happens. He would look at the funny side of things, at the humorous aspect of things and all that. I did sleep well that night. So here we end the chapter. The chapter is called Selfishness, Selflessness, and the Real I. Any questions, anything to share? I think we still have about...
Cyrus sir, even I will be a little loud. Love you, sir. The best reader ever. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Baba. Thank you,
Jai
Baba.
Baba.
Thank you, Baba.
Soumya Garu,
Yes.
can you just sing Gujarati Aarti today?
Yeah, she will
Okay.
sing
Yeah,
Gujarati.
Jai Baba.
Okay. No, okay, I'll just join you. Let us ask the permission of Merchant Noori Garuji. Can I also join in, Merchant?
Boss, your best staff is singing, so you should join also.
Okay, I'll join. Jai Baba. We are doing the Aarti for Bhujavenar because it was written on this day, 11th of January 1926, as per the recorded history of the avatar. All right, Jai Baba. Bhujave nar jahlatni ekar khud ratne farmatu chelagi आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरे ईमातू अयामूर शाद मेहर बाबा चरण पर तुझ न धरिए सर खुदा ना जात थी वाके पथई बे थो मेहरबातू तुझे मालिक हकीकत नो तू आशे बीने आरेती तुझे दरी या ये वहदत मारे फतनो कोई तूफातू हमोर है राम ने साले बकस जे ज्ञान इज्जतनु के तू पर महात्मा ज्ञानी छने मो तारे रफातू खुदाना प्रेम नो प्यालो पिलावी मस्त हमने कर छे तुझ पर जान सदके साकिया पीड़े पे मातू हमारी नाव भर दरिए करावे तो हमें तरिए हमारा ना खुदा ऐ मेहर बाबा छेनिगे बातू हमारा ना खुदा ऐ मेहर बाबा छेनिगे बातू बुझावे नार जहलतनी एकर खुद रत्ने फरमातू चलागी आश भक्तों ने के बख्शे नूरे ईमातू अवतार मेहर बाबा की जय. Jai Baba and thank you, Baba.
Thank you, Baba.
Those who would
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Meher Baba.
Jai Baba.
Just a minute. Just those who would like to know the meaning, you can ask Rakesh Acharya to send. In one of our sessions, I had given word for word meaning of each word in the Aarti. So if you are interested, you can ask Rakesh, and I'm sure he'll oblige you. All right. So I think we are exactly 6:30. Thanks,
Thank you,
beloved
Baba.
Baba, and thanks to all of you.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai. Thank you very much, Cyrus ji.
Thank you, Baba.
Jai Baba.
Cyrus ji, will you be at the Samadhi tomorrow?
No, sir. I am in Mumbai.
Acha, you live in Bombay?
Yes, yes, yes.
Where?
Meera.
In my heart.
Acha, I knew you were gonna answer something very smart. I live in Andheri Lokhandwala. You know, if you want
in Mira Road.
Mira Road.
And-
Okay, good. Even I used to live close by only, Kandivali.
Okay, lovely.
So if you want to keep a Sahavas or maybe a Bhajan Kirti Ghazal we can keep it at my place, sir.
Okay, let's hope so. I generally don't go out these days for personal reasons.
Yes.
Let's see how Baba works out everything. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Love you,
Thank
sir.
you.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
Avtar Meher Baba ki jai.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba.
Jai Baba. Thank you.
Baba. Jai.